Oh, I swear to God, DC reboots be like,
Another one. Another one. Another one. Another one.
well, I guess Infinite Frontier takes the whatever the hell is next category. Hey, what's going on, guys? I am the Mystical Green Beanie, and before I go any further in this video, I want to address the poll that I made on Twitter. Everyone who voted said that my next video should cover a project related to the Avengers instead of Darkseid, and I know that in this video I'm talking about Darkseid, but this is not that video. I'm not ignoring what you guys want. I am working on that Avengers project video. I just read some comics and I wanted to talk about said comics and react to said comics. So, DC Infinite Frontier is potentially really exciting. I say potentially because DC Rebirth was also potentially exciting, and between Heroes in Crisis, in that book completely disregarding what the Rebirth Initiative was supposed to be, while also just being a really poorly constructed comic, Doomsday Clock, and Doomsday Clock getting undone in Scott Snyder's Justice League literally the week before that event even got its final issue, Teen Titans turning into a Great Value Suicide Squad book, Bendis doing whatever the hell it was he was trying to accomplish in writing Superman, Tom King's Batman just taking a fat L and then being followed up with James Tynion and Jorge Jimenez's Batman series that was clearly designed to be counter to King's very self-important auteur Batman run, and wound up becoming what I can only describe as The Killing Joke directed by Michael Bay, and then the Batman who edges, then edges some more, then finally edges to completion, and then Future State, oh god, Future State, which, by the way, wasn't bad. In fact, there were actually some pretty cool characters in comics that came out of it, but just, why? Why? So yeah, between all of that, DC Comics kinda sorta shat the bed, then proceeded to eat said shit, which then caused them to expel said fecal matter, which they willingly ate from both ends, and sorta just sit there in a puddle of their own filth. And here we are, Infinite Frontier. And I just wanted to talk about some of the stuff that was previewed in the Infinite Frontier one-shot, and some of the stuff that was announced on social media. So, going in order of what we saw in the Infinite Frontier comic, the first thing that we got a glimpse of is the Justice League book by Brian Michael Bendis, Dave Marquez, and Tamara Bonvillain. And it was pretty good. I mean, there is a whole thing with Shazam, because that's Black Adam's hero name, I guess, but it comes off like a joke. I feel like that'll just be a running gag in the book, so whatever. Again, this looks promising, but I also said that about Bendis' Man of Steel, so I'm just going to reserve judgment. That said, the art is really nice. Dave Marquez is without a doubt still one of my favorite artists working on Cape shit. I do think the coloring makes his work look a bit flat, especially compared to his earlier work at Marvel. This, however, might just be the first time Tamara Bonvillain is working with him, and sometimes that happens when artists are getting a feel for each other in a collab. But I can't say that I didn't enjoy these few pages. I'm just hesitant to say that I'm looking forward to where it's going. Next up, there's Batman by James Tynion IV and Jorge Jimenez, and just like the rest of their run, the art is fantastic. Easily one of the best looking superhero comics coming out right now, but it's just not my thing. Still, I appreciate the status quo changes that are being made, where Barbara Gordon is Oracle again, and that's really cool. I love how she's training both Cassandra Cain and Stephanie Brown to be Batgirls in their own right, which means that both Stephanie and Cassandra are back to being Batgirl again, and that's a really cool payoff for what Tynion was setting up in his run on Detective Comics. And I also really appreciate how this isn't hinging on the Joker. This big new storyline is a Scarecrow story, which is really cool because Scarecrow gets no love when it comes to the comics, and he's a really underrated character, and I'm glad that he's finally being utilized beyond being a punching bag for the sake of a panel-to-panel joke. And Jorge Jimenez even went the extra mile and gave Scarecrow a new design that just breathes new life into the character. But I just don't care. Like I said, this run just hasn't been for me, and unfortunately I just doubt that the book will be. But I'm hoping to hear good things, and I'll more than likely check it out if and when I hopefully do. Then there's the Wonder Woman book with Nubia, and it looks fine, but ultimately not for me. The Wonder Girl comic, on the other hand, following Yana Flor by Joelle Jones and Jordi Belair, does look really good. Mainly because out of all of the Future State books, hers was my favorite, and I'm glad that she's getting her own solo series. I'm a little confused when it comes to the world building of Yana Flor, because there's the Greek Amazons, but there's also the Brazilian Amazons. But they come from the same common link clan people? I think? I don't know, but I'm excited to find out. We also got some stuff with Alan Scott Green Lantern. He finally came out as being gay to his kids, which to me begs two questions. One, I thought Alan Scott already came out, but I could be wrong. And two, Alan Scott has kids? I mean, I'm not heavily invested in this because I'm not a Green Lantern reader, so whatever. But I've seen a lot of people who are LGBTQ say that they really like this part of the book and are really looking forward to where this plot point goes in whatever the hell Alan Scott's going to be in the Infinite Frontier status quo. So that's cool. I just don't give a fuck about Green Lantern, so I'm sorry. Titans Academy is also a thing that's getting set up, and I think this is a really cool idea. In fact, it's an idea that I pitched in a video where I was going on about how I felt like DC had no idea what to do with Nightwing, and I suggested that he be the headmaster of a Titans Academy. So it's cool that DC is doing something very similar. I still have no idea who the creative team is. This is the first time I've seen their names attached to anything, so I'm excited to see what they have in store. We also got a preview for Philip Kennedy Johnson and Jamal Eigel's Superman series, which looks like it'll be more of a Jonathan Kent Superboy series? Okay. I guess. I honestly don't know how to feel about that just yet. So I'm going to keep a wait-and-see attitude, but I like Jamal Eigel's art, and I've been told that Philip Kennedy Johnson is a really good writer, but I do have one fear. I've noticed that in all of the Superman stories I've read from Johnson, the one character who's barely in them is Superman. In the Future State Superman book, we follow this little girl who's talking about Superman while Superman is on Warworld fighting aliens in the background. And then there's the House of L one-shot, where Superman doesn't even show up until the final 3 pages and is a deus ex machina to resolve the conflict. So, I don't know, there's some cause for concern, but I'm still really interested to see where that book goes, mainly because there's literally nowhere to go but up. Then there's some status quo stuff, like Green Arrow and Black Canary getting back together again, after being broken up again. Okay, I really feel like DC keeps breaking them up just so people can get excited about them being put back together. It's a weird cycle that I've noticed ever since Kevin Smith brought them back from the dead, so that's a thing. Also, Roy Harper is alive again because multiverse stuff, and we're undoing Heroes in Crisis, so that's cool. But the thing that got me really excited, like really excited, was The Flash. And this is the most excited I've been about The Flash in a long time. Basically, after the events of Death Metal, Barry Allen is going to join the Justice Incarnate, which is the Justice League that patrols the multiverse, leaving Wally to once again take on the responsibility of being the Flash who looks after Central City and Keystone City. And I just think that's such a good idea, because it gives both fans of Barry and Wally respectively what they want. Both Wally and Barry get to be the Flash, but Barry's going to be off doing cool multiverse stuff while Wally holds down the fort at home. Apparently, Jeremy Adams is going to be the writer for this book moving forward. I have no idea who that is, but they're being handed a really cool idea. Meanwhile, Dave LaFuenta is going to be doing the art, which I am 100% down for, because I've been a fan of his ever since he did art for Ultimate Spider-Man, and I just think that he's a perfect fit for the Flash. As for some other titles that we know are coming out, we know there's going to be a Supergirl miniseries by Tom King and Bilquis Evely, and I'm really excited to see what this looks like. LV did art for a Shaft comic a few years back, and that is my only context for her art, so I'm interested to see how she does with the more high-concept sci-fi stuff. And Tom King, despite how you may feel about his run on Batman, has never dropped the ball on a miniseries. Knock on wood. Plus, I loved his Superman miniseries, Up in the Sky, so I'm really looking forward to see how he handles Kara. I'm also looking forward to the Batman-Superman book by Gene Luen Yang. I don't know who the artist is going to be, but from the cover art, it looks like it's going to be a 1940s Golden Age throwback, and that's really weird and cool, and I can't wait to see what that looks like. Tom Taylor is also writing a Nightwing book. I have no idea who the artist is, but so far, just based off of the fact that Tom Taylor is writing it, I'm sure one of two things will happen. This will either be the best solo series that Dick Grayson has had since his initial Rebirth run, or he's going to die a really stupid death, because Tom Taylor just loves killing Nightwing. Oh, and before I forget, there's also an epilogue to the Infinite Frontier special, where we find out that Darkseid is going to be the big, bad, final boss, or whatever thing that DC's getting ready for. And that's cool, I suppose. Darkseid is... well, Darkseid is. But yeah, Darkseid is one of my favorite DC villains. Hell, he might actually be my favorite cape shit antagonist, period. But I am a little worried because Darkseid, as well as the other New Gods, are very fuck-upable. It is very easy to write a shitty Darkseid story, or write a story that just completely misses the point of his character, and it's very easy to just fuck up the New Gods in general. But he does show up at the end of the comic like, "Now, my dick is even harder than before, and I'm going to rail this new DC universe like a cheap hooker from Baltimore." Yeah, that's like a direct quote from the book. Like, Darkseid totally says that in this comic. Yeah. But yeah, all in all, Infinite Frontier looks pretty sweet. I mean, the bar is really low, considering the past year and a half to 2 years of DC Comics content. But yeah, I'm feeling pretty optimistic regarding the foreseeable future of DC Comics. But what about you? What did you think of Infinite Frontier? What are you most looking forward to? Let me know down below in the comment section. Also, if you like this video, hit the like button, share, support the channel, and if you want to see more content like this, all you have to do is subscribe. I am the Mystical Green Beanie. Thanks for watching, and as always, until next time, adios nachos, adios.
Charged up.